Morning, everybody. You're going to hear my dogs barking. It's early. Sorry about that. We haven't been on a walk for a while, so I thought I'd take you with me on the treadmill and we could catch up. Now, hubby and I have been on this lower your cholesterol journey. It was supposed to be 6 weeks. We're pushing it a little further before our blood work. Our blood work is going to be taken hopefully November 1st. And then we won't find out the results that day. We'll have to wait a little bit. And then we'll let you know as soon as we do what that looks like. Now, we're not thinking, okay, the journey's going to be over and we can just go hog wild. The purpose of this for us was to develop more of a cholesterol-friendly mindset and, different aspects of our life, and to be able to stay on that long term. So that's, what we're doing. We're not just giving it up and going, back to whatever. But anyway, we picked up a lot of things, a lot of thoughts during this time. And one good thing is that we have both lost about 5 pounds each, and those are not fluctuating pounds. Those are maintaining 5-pound loss. So we just are really happy about that. I myself am at a number that I haven't seen for a while. In fact, I haven't been at this number since it's been over a year. So I needless to say, I am extremely happy about watching my weight find itself and where it really needs to be, right? So, but anyway, I had a few thoughts I wanted to share. And this is all about orienting our mindset for a long-lasting journey and weight loss and, good health and things like that. And these are just things that are important to me, and I didn't know if you could glean anything from them, but if you can, then that would be great. Number one is know your health goals. And I know that seems real basic, but it just in the same way where, if somebody's going to ask you to write an essay about something, I'm going to put my hair up, I'm getting kind of warm. You're not just going to write a topic sentence and say, I want to lose weight, or I want to do this or that, I just want to lower my cholesterol, whatever it is. You're going to have secondary supporting sentences, you're going to have references, you're going to have to do some homework and some research, right? You're going to have to do some other things in order to support that goal. And so be real clear about that. In fact, it wouldn't hurt to actually write down these things, right? Write down a bit of a map. So you can ask yourself, what kind of plan am I going to use? What kind of preparation am I going to have to do? What kind of foods am I going to need? And how am I going to support myself in doing that, right? And what's going to happen if I encounter a pitfall? What is the plan B to get back on my horse? And to think about all of these things, kind of like a business plan, before you get on that horse in the first place. And so you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you know what your job is, and what the description is to what's going to be required for the journey. And so when I say know your health goals, I really mean, really know where you're going. And people say, well, know your why. That's part of it, but that's not. You need all the peripherals. You need to be equipped. And that's what's really important. So think about that. Grab a pad and write it down if you have to. Number two, I'm going to say, have your favorite meals that you know are healthy and you really enjoy, and you're confident in the nutritional point knowledge. And so you know what's in them. So what I mean is, it's so important to know what it is you really like, right? Some people don't like salads. Some people love bread. Some people love pastas. Find a way to do these things in a way that you're going to enjoy into your next part of the journey, right? Don't leave them behind, but take them in there and be the boss of them, right? So I think that for lasting change, you have to remember what it is you really love, right? And bring those in. Believe it or not, this sounds real basic, but I love bean burritos. I always have all my life, and I still do. And I can do that without adding any fat now. I know I've found a way, and I really enjoy that. Number 3 is plan for the fruit and vegetable vehicle. Oh, this is so funny. we can all agree that on a health journey, a weight loss journey, you are going to need to include fruits and veggies, right? And it's just, they're good for, to prevent disease, you know what I mean? And then also provide fiber and fullness and satiation and all kinds of wonderful things. And, it's important to remember that nuts and seeds can help you absorb the nutrients from that. Just a little bit, is all you really need. But, so you have to decide, how am I going to get those vegetables in, right? And it could be a problem for some people. Fruits, pretty easy. Fruit salad, smoothies, different things like that, even baking with it sometimes. But vegetables, not so easy sometimes, right? Some people can eat the gigantic, ginormous salads that look like they're enough for 6 people. For me, that just takes too much time. And for me, I would rather do soups, right? And so I get them in pretty quick. Now, if you can't do soups because it heats you up, because I get the whole heating up thing, I know about that, then there's such a thing as cold soups, and those can be very, very delicious. I'm going to be making a cold carrot and apple soup pretty soon, and that's pretty good too. You can experiment with some things, or maybe just do steamed veggies sometimes, or stir-fried veggies or something, but figure out a way and plan for that. Put that into your overall plan. That's really going to be important to helping you stay on board. And you really do we have to change what it is that we like, or add to what it is that we like. So we have to get used to it and give it time. So plan for it, get used to it by giving it time, and be consistent. Don't give up, because your taste will change. Next point is, know where your good fats are before you have them. So don't don't eat something that is going to be high fat and then look up the point value and go, oh, I can't believe this had like 12 grams of fat in it, 10 grams of fat in it. I was at the store, and I was considering a plant-based butter, and I looked at that and it had 10 grams of fat in it. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to go with the Brummel and Brown yogurt spread, and that had 4.5 grams of fat in it, and I like to keep anything with fat under 5 grams of fat. That's a good general rule for me. And it had only a trace of cholesterol in it. So that's the one that we use. I have not bought butter in like a month and a half or 2 months. It's really weird. But anyway, I find that I don't really need it to bake with or anything anymore. All right, next point is, be realistic. Don't forget, this is so important, don't forget who you are, even when you have a treat meal. And that's like so important. So you need to remember, what are your limitations? What are your allergies? What are your expectations? What are your goals? And bring some sort of, at the end of the week, you might have like a treat meal or a treat day. I try to just keep it to like a treat meal at the end of the week. Hubby and I go for a date night, and very often we'll go to the buffet. Okay, so try to bring some sort of semblance of who you are. Healthy cat. I have to bring healthy cat into my treat meal cat, right? And so when healthy cat shows up, then she helps, the other one, the treat meal cat, to police what I'm doing, and shows up. So what I do at first is I'll go and I will find a big baked potato at the buffet, put that on my plate, and then build around that. And that's the first thing that I'll eat, because I know that it's going to fill me up with good fiber and vitamins, and it's going to tell myself I'm the one who's in control here. So yeah, you can have a little bit of this, you can have a little cookie, or you can have this or that. Try some of this other stuff, but this is what we're going to remember, we're going to remember who we are and what our goals are. And I'm not going to feel like I'm out of control. I'm going to feel like I'm not going to leave and be shaking my head feeling like, what the heck happened, right? And that's it's not what I want to do. So a treat meal is fine, but I don't want to, and I think that's the difference for me in a treat and a cheat, right? Because cheating would be forgetting who I left behind. and cheating on that person. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to cheat on Healthy Cat. I want to treat Healthy Cat for all the work that she's been doing. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. And that is to be creative. Be creative. Realize what your eating style is, because I think we all have a preference. And modify what you prepare so that in your new quest, you can avoid going back to what home was. And what I mean by that is that I think in every environment that we're in, work environment, food environment, whatever it is, we have a kind of a home base, a place there that we're used to being comfortable in. So if we embark on a healthy journey, we're going to sometimes use that cheap treat meal as running to home base and being reminded of what all the comforts are that gave us all those good feelings before and what's familiar. Because even though something might be bad, familiar, experts have really found dealing with people in, unfortunately, abuse situations even, people will run back to abuse situations, not because it's a good situation, but because it's familiar and they know that. And that gives them some sort of a feeling of a control, right? And it's not right. It's something that we need to break out of, but it's not an easy thing to do. So we might want to run back to, an unhealthy way of living, of eating, because it's more familiar to us. So we need to be prepared to realize that that may be something that we want to do, right? And again, like I said before, be the boss of it. Realize what your style is, what you like. Maybe you like pizza a lot. Maybe you like, sandwiches a lot or whatever. But rather than go back to the unhealthy one, go back to those old recipes that you really loved and bring them, make them comforting, but in a healthy way. And you're going to have to put some work into it. Everything that's worth it is going to take some sacrifice. So bring those things in. It's just like the burritos. Oh my goodness. I mean, when I grew up, my mom used to make her own tortillas. She would use lard in them, and I don't use lard anymore. I don't use any fat in my tortillas. And she'd also put a bunch of olive oil in the beans that she put into those burritos, and I don't use any oil in my beans, and they taste great to me. So I've brought them in where I can be the boss of them and I can still enjoy them. I don't feel like I'm missing out, right? So we just have to adjust and keep going forward. All right, next point would be realize that this is super important. Realize that change takes time. New habits, like new surroundings, take an adjustment period. If you give it enough time, you're going to see that your preferences can sometimes change, and you can enjoy things you want to be able to enjoy that maybe you weren't what you would have chosen before, right? So these days, I haven't bought bacon in almost 2 months. Turkey bacon a little bit for my hubby and the kids, but not much. No butter, haven't bought any of that. So much less fat. We've had the same jar of mayonnaise for almost 2 months. I've switched over to egg whites instead of eggs, and I never thought I'd be able to do that. So just be patient, give it time, and you'll be able to adjust, right? So anyway, those are my tips. I hope that you can glean something from that. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Bye.